Bad credit, no problem. The credit firms have just decided to wipe off many negative elements of an individual's credit report. This was done specifically to boost their creditworthiness, to boost the economy. So in the end, whenever there is a problem, just cover it up. You came here for the truth. Today we are going to talk about a joke that I have read that I'm bringing to you. Don't worry about your credit because ultimately the government apparently is going to fix it. Look at it. Scorecard. Share of U.S. adults with FICO credit scores deemed to be the riskiest has declined. So they're suggesting that less and less people have what's called risky credit, bad credit, okay? That's what they're suggesting. I would have to say quite the opposite. I think things have been worse over the years. You're seeing people take on more debt, more now than ever. You can see that in Canada. You can see it in the UK. There's absolutely no doubt. Look in the UK right now where you have mortgage rates that are under 1%. Free money for everyone. That's what this system is built on. Built on a fraud. Completely standing on air. Then you look at this. Homegrown. Number of foreclosure starts by year. Now maybe this is true. Maybe these stats are actually showing the fact that yes, there's less foreclosures than there were during the financial crisis and everything that happened with the housing boom and bust. Maybe it's true. But what has really happened? And that is very clear to me, and I know to you as well, that people have taken on more debt than they can handle. They're taking on those homes. Look at a place where they suggest. First, let's talk about the US, okay? You had the housing boom, then came the bust. People walked away from their homes. They began to become renters again. So those people in the subprime housing, they turned to renting. That quickly switched around in many areas where you see a lot of people buying up yet again in some level of a subprime home. Maybe it's not to the extreme that we saw before, but we're splitting hairs. Then you look at a place like Canada where they've taken on more and more risk. And ultimately, as the years have gone on, you have seen lenders suggesting that, look, the prices keep going up. It doesn't matter if the people can't really pay if interest rates go up. We don't have to worry about that because prices of the homes keep going up, interest rates keep going down. It's a win-win for everyone. And that is the general consensus. You can see that in the media, and you see that in the general population. There is almost nobody. Everybody that I talk to, I bring this issue up with basically every person that I have the chance to speak with. And I would say to some degree, you're looking at about 99% of the people believe that, number one, the housing prices can go up or will continue to go up. And the fact that the government will not allow it to go down. That to me is very frightening because as you do this, you create distortions. There's no young people today, the millennials, and the young generation anyway, if they're still in school, let's say, there's no way, unless they're being granted a nice big chunk of money from their family or someone else, they're not going to be able to afford a home. So what we're going to experience here in the next, let's say, 10 years, should these prices increase, even if they slow down to some degree, is an entire group of people, for the first time ever, unable to afford their homes. It's not just, let's say, poor people who can't afford homes. We're talking about the middle class. All of a sudden, the middle class is just wiped out from being able to buy. That's a big problem. Okay, so what's happening here? What's happening? Well, this is the start of it, and I'll show you another article after this. Credit scores hit a record high as recession wounds heal. I don't know if you knew this, but, let's look at the Wall Street Journal. The recession's over, everything's booming, and everything is just great. I didn't know that. I thought it was actually quite the opposite, that things are actually worse. This is the financial crisis part 2. No. They said it And they are obviously right. Credit scores for U.S. consumers reach a record high this spring, while the share of Americans deemed to be some of the riskiest borrowers hit a record low, a potential boon for lending and economic activity. They're saying it. That's not me, though. Now, what happened? I mean, what changed? Has the economy been doing well? I mean, I must have missed a piece or two of information. Well, let's just see the truth. That's what you're here for, right? Credit reports to exclude certain negative data. And this is the lowdown. This is how it works. First, I'll get into it, then we'll mention a few points here. Many tax liens and civil judgments soon will be taken off of people's credit reports. The latest move to omit negative information from the powerful financial scorecards. So the decision was by the 3 major credit reporting firms. Could help boost the credit scores for millions of consumers. But the point that I'd like to make here is this could pose a risk for lenders. Well, obviously, the report here goes on. If you're interested, of course, you can always take a look at it. The links are in the description. Let's think about that for a second. Think about what these credit reports, credit rating agencies, no different than what happens with rating of financial assets. It's the same thing. Think about it for a moment. As we see, when you take subprime mortgages, you take all the CDOs, CDSs, ABSs, I mean, anything, all these silly acronyms that they create. Look at the CDOs. Collateralized debt obligations. What does that mean? I talk about it in my first book in detail. Basically, what we're talking about is all of the worst debt, the garbage, the crap, if you will. Take it all, stick it all together into one instrument of debt, and they sell it off to people. Now, that to me would be considered to be the riskiest of the risk, okay? Because it's all the worst of the worst. But to the financial rating agencies, they suggest that this is diversified because it's mortgages, credit cards, car loans, all together, and then it's from all over the place. So it's geographically diversified to some degree. So to them, it's a diversified financial asset. Therefore, we'll rate it a AAA. That's when you know that these are criminal agencies working against the people. And what I would say to this is that to some individuals, they might say to themselves, look, I'm happy my credit rating is increased now. And surely, wouldn't you be happy that your credit rating is increased? I'm sure everyone, for no good reason in this case, that their credit rating was improved. If you want to buy something, you want to have the good credit. There's no doubt. But what I would suggest to everyone is that if they're removing things like tax liens, it's not necessarily a good thing because they're in there for a reason. And this is just one small example, okay? Just don't take it for just this. All I'm suggesting is that if you give people the incentive to buy, they will take that incentive. If you start to give people tax rebates, if you start allowing it easier to buy a home rather than rent. I mean, if the prices are skyrocketing rents, people look at the prices of homes to buy and they realize, look, I can get a 1% mortgage. Why am I going to rent? The prices of the homes keep going up. Interest rates keep declining. I'm better off just getting into the homes now and continue the boom. Who cares? I don't care about, the risks. To me, there's no risk. That's the way people are seeing it. I think this is dangerous, and I think people are going to run into a very big problem. And we're already technically there. It just hasn't shown its true face for most people. I'm willing to see it. I know many people on this channel who are truly intelligent people who are willing to just say, look, stuff is effed up right now, and I don't want any part of it. I'm going to back away. I'm going to take things that are safe right now. I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to just pay attention, regain a little footing here. I want to gain some knowledge at this time. You know what I'm getting at that. And I really appreciate all the people who are taking the time to read up on the information. If you want to do something, you need to be prepared. You need to be assured. You can't just say, I'm right. That's not the way this works. We need to know that every day, the more that we look into information, the more we realize, I need to learn more. That's what I see anyway. Then look at this, switching gears. One of the biggest topics I talk about in almost every single video is this, and that is robotics and automation displacing jobs. About half of all U.S. retail jobs could vanish due to computerization, analysis finds. This is something that I've constantly bring up. I mean, it's practically the same title every time. And there's a lot of good points that people make on the other side of this. Look, I have a washing machine. I have a dishwasher. I have a car instead of a horse and buggy. I have, let's just stop there. You know what I'm getting at. There's always advancements in technology which then replace other jobs. Totally understandable. But in the past, jobs were replaced at a slow rate. Look, rail was the number one thing, and then all of a sudden, did you have the Model T Ford comes out and replaces all that rail? No, it happened slowly over years and years. Now the way with technology advancing, it's happening so rapidly, jobs are just going to be wiped out. As soon as they get these cars on the road that don't kill people every time they try to do this, but once these automatic cars are on the road, start replacing the truck drivers and taxi drivers and the bus drivers and everybody else, you're going to have a mass amount of people that are simply not employed. That's what I worry about. It's the speed at which the technology is coming onto the market. Do you see what I'm saying with that? Let me know. And then right here, Alphabet Inc.'s self-driving car unit Waymo is working on developing self-driving trucks, the company said. This is going into what Tesla's getting into, and a whole bunch of other companies, in fact, are working on this self-driving technology. You've seen Uber. I don't know if you have seen it in your city, but I have seen it in Toronto, where they are driving around sort of mapping the roads, and now they're working on all of these automated vehicles. I don't know. I like the fact that technology is advancing, but some of them, I don't know if they're really prime time yet, and they're really pushing hard for this to become mainstream before it's ready. I think it should be kept in the laboratory a lot longer. So that's it for this video. If you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up. Remember that you're supporting me with your thumbs up. There's so many good people out there who support me, and I truly appreciate that very much. If you don't have, the desire to read my books or get into anything else, I know so many people out there, and just a thumbs up is something that I appreciate very much. There's a lot of YouTubers out there who, I'll never judge anybody, but I can't help but feel a little bit of disingenuous behavior on a lot of them. I try to be as straightforward as possible. My delivery isn't perfect. My speech isn't perfect. I know that I set out to do a video and I have, let's say, 10 different points that I want to make, and I probably get to 2 of them and I miss half of the things. I'm just doing what I believe that I can. I try to really get the information out to you. I hope you appreciate that. I have subscribers out there who They donate to me through all different means, and I'm so appreciative of that. All the comments, all the emails that I get. Thank you. Thank you all. If you found this video informative, I know you'll find my books, The Money GPS, and my new release, Global Economic Collapse, even more informative. If you want to look through the books, Amazon has a look inside feature, so you can actually flip through the books. If you want the audiobook for Global Economic Collapse, you can go over to themoneygps.com. On there, you will see the store link, and you can get on there. Stay tuned for all of the t-shirts that I'm going to be making. There has been such a good response from everybody from the t-shirts. I have so many ideas. I can't unfortunately do all of the ideas. They only allow you, I think, 10 at first, and then you can expand. But anyway, look forward to that. I would just want the t-shirts for myself, to be honest, and I think it'll be cool if other people out there can get them too. So look forward to that. Take care.